Come on now, stop it.
So, a nigga be mooching HBO Max off his brother recently, and that said nigga's been watching mad shit on there, and one of those things have been the very topical Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. I watched it the day it came out, and honestly, it's pretty mid. Didn't laugh a lot, thought the animation was pretty good, and was mostly on my phone, and came to the conclusion that I'll probably never watch this movie again. But then that changed like a week later when my girlfriend hit me up saying that she never got around to watching the movie, so we did later that night, and bro, this movie sucks.
Ouch. Ooh.
Yikes.
Dog, I don't know what happened from the first time me watching this, but I just did not have a good time at all, and just started questioning shit I didn't like. Why is there branding every 5 minutes in the movie? Why are the tunes actually the least important part of the movie? What does the Don Cheadle villain actually gain from having people be stuck in this reverse? Like, yeah, he wants attention and he gets niggas stuck in there. Then what? Niggas not finna be tortured or enslaved, they're just gonna be there now. And I'ma keep it a buck with you. While yeah, some niggas might be sad that they're stuck here, more would be fine with essentially living in their favorite Warner Bros property. Like hell, even more so for niggas who are weird and wanna get with fictional characters. AKA me! I'm weird. I'm niggas. Let me in there, Don Cheadle. Last time I checked, Raven and Velma were in there. I'm trying to. Why does the movie insist on being 2 goddamn hours, and for the entire time, LeBron James can't act? Yo, LeBron, you do know this is a Warner Brothers movie, right? If so, then why are you making that goofy ass face? The fuck you think this is? Goof Troop?
Yeah.
And look, I already know some people are going to be out here like, oh, you really thought this new Space Jam was going to be good? Or be like, you do know the first Space Jam wasn't good either, right? Well, 1, no, and 2, I don't like the first Space Jam either. So yeah, both movies suck, and there are no good live-action Looney Tunes movies. Is what I would say if there wasn't another that people really don't bring up. What if I told you that it came out during the time between the first and second Space Jam movies? And even though it got praised during the time it was out, it was a box office failure in the eyes of Warner Brothers. As of recent, this movie is being brought up for how it's actually pretty good and how it does something different from the Space Jam movies. And that major difference was putting the Looney Tunes back in action. Hey yo, that intro is ass. Who the fuck writes this shit? Looney Tunes Back in Action was a movie that came out in November 9th, 2003. It was written by Larry Doyle, art direction by Eric Goldberg, and directed by Joe Dart, aka the nigga who made Small Soldiers. It's a live-action animation hybrid that stars the majority of the Looney Tune cast, and also Brendan Fraser of Mummy fame. And that's it, I don't know what else he's been in. Oh yeah, Jenna Elfman is in this too. You see, after the success of the first Space Jam movie, the Looney Tunes are now back on people's radar, and Warner Bros. Wanted to strike while the iron was hot. And by that, I mean they waited 7 years to make another movie. This movie was given a big-ass budget of $80 million, and after like a few viewings, it was only able to make back a box office of $68.51 million. So yeah, let's just say this movie didn't do too hot.
Which kinda sucks because besides being better than both Space Jam movies, it's actually a pretty good movie on its own right. The movie starts off with Bugs, Daffy, and Elmer Fudd doing the whole Duck Season and Wabbit Season bit. It then reveals that it's actually Daffy doing a table read of the script, complaining about how in the new film he keeps getting the short of the stick and plays second fiddle to Bugs. And it's here we're shown that cartoons coexist in the real world as actors. And to be honest, it kinda works. It's simple, boom, they were always there. No isekai shit or pulling niggas through holes. We then get introduced to the Jenna Elfman character, Katie, who Daffy claims is a cold she-wolf, aka a bitch. She comes through like, hey yo, the duck sucks, fire him. And then Daffy's like, hey yo bitch, you can't do that. And the Warner's like, hey yo, big bet, we can. So he gets fired. And then Bugs is all like, they'll bring him back. We then meet our other live-action lead, DJ, played by Brendan Fraser. He's a down-on-his-luck security guard trying to get a gig as a stunt double, and if anything, he was only able to get the security gig due to the fact of his dad being a famous actor in old spy movies, until he stopped doing that, but we'll get to that later. Long story short, Kate meets up with DJ, tells him to get rid of the duck. He does, but also fucks up the acting lot and gets fired too. It then goes to DJ and Daffy sulking at DJ's dad's house until, the plot starts, in which they get a distress call from his dad revealing that he was dead-ass a spy the entire time and needs his son help to get a blue monkey artifact before the evil chairman at Acme does and turns people into monkeys.
What?
But yeah, that's the driving point of the movie. It's the standard get the MacGuffin adventure, and for what it's worth, it works. It also lets me talk about the live part of this live action animation hybrid by talking about DJ and Katie, and they are okay. Ayo, real talk, the tune parts are the best part of the movie, and that's not like to say like the live action part is just like bad or anything. It's just like less interesting at worst. It has some good points. DJ plays like a good straight man.
Ha! You a stuntman, please?
I am. Did you see those mummy movies? I'm in them more than Brendan Fraser is.
Katie has like some funny moments, and I really do like the chairman. He's all like eccentric and like a cartoony villain and stuff. I also like how the main villain incorporates like Acme and stuff, and how Acme actually goes out and hires like a majority of like the Looney Tune cartoon villains. That's pretty cool. They got Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, Marvin the Martian, hell, even that buzzer nigga who talks funny. The set pieces the gang go through is also pretty neat too. First, they go to Las Vegas, enter a casino owned by Yosemite Sam. Looney shit happens with DJ, Daffy, and Yosemite Sam. Then they meet a character that helps DJ by giving him a card, and then him and Daffy leave the joint and run into Katie and Bugs.
You're never going to find that duck.
Daff never misses a cue.
Okay, so I think it's a good time to explain the one thing I like about this movie right now, and it kinda just came to me when I was watching this one scene. And that being, out of all three movies, the Looney Tunes feel most like themselves in this one. Okay, let me explain. In Space Jam: A New Legacy, like I said earlier, the Looney Tunes are the least important part of the movie. Literally, the only reason they're involved is that Don Cheadle decided to drop LeBron in their realm. They could have been replaced with any other IP and the movie would be the exact same. Not only that, it just, I don't know, the tunes kind of feel off in the movie, like they're not themselves. The first character that comes to mind when talking about this is actually Bugs Bunny. It honestly feels like the writers were just like, oh, he's a cartoon character, just make him do wacky shit. And don't get it twisted, it's the fucking Looney Tunes. Doing wacky shit is like the status quo. However, each character does wacky shit that makes them distinct from each other. Bugs is like the slick guy who's usually in control and doesn't really start shit. Daffy is insane and very egotistical. Porky's the mild-mannered one who gets pushed over the edge. All of them act different from each other because, you know, it's this little thing called characterization. But that's not the only issue in Space Jam. It also has the issue of having all the Looney Tune characters be there, but having them not do anything. Like, bro, they really got Speedy Gonzalez just for him to not do shit. Like, I'm not even kidding, he doesn't do anything in the game at all. However, in Back in Action, they have it off a little bit easier due to having Bugs and Daffy be like the main tunes of the movie. I think that's a good move due to, you know, them being the most iconic characters of the Looney Tune bunch. And when it comes to the others, like I said, you see a majority of the villains being here, and if they're not a villain, they're just like a quick cameo, but they stay on brand, and it's pretty good. And hell, having Bugs and Daffy be the only main cartoon characters, there's a little bit of development that happens between them. Daffy knows he could come back, but he decides not to. If he were to go back, he'd still be unappreciated, and it'd just be the status quo again. And Bugs never really thought about that, you know, cause usually he's revered and loved by niggas, but still understand that he kinda needs Daffy, and just show him a little appreciation from time to time.
Ugh, what am I talking to you for? All you have to do is munch on a carrot and people love you.
And you can like actually see in like the character animation, Bugs actually thinking about it for like the first time and kind of feeling bad for Daffy. And look, it sounds like it's some big ass deal in the movie when it's actually just like a little ass moment, but I think it's an interesting moment that makes the movie really good. So back to the plot. The four main dip from Vegas and enter Area 52 where essentially the same shit happens. DJ meets a character, they're told some spy shit, where to go next, and then some tune shit happens, this time with my nigga Marvin the Martian. After that, we pull up in Paris, and again, the same shit happens. However, this time the tune shit's with Elmer Fudd, and we get to see the best animated chase scene in the movie. It takes place in the famous art museum I don't know the name of. Why don't you look it up?
I don't care. I don't.
But what I do care about is how the tunes jump into different famous paintings and the whole art style changes, and it's really cool. Speaking of art, the overall art direction is good. The tunes look nice and mesh well with the live action actors. I like how the tunes are shaded in a way to have this feeling of death. The only like bad thing about the art direction is how like the movie was made in 2003, so some of the CGI feels kind of dated. As of now, we reach the climax / falling action of the film, and it's some pretty simple stuff. They head to Safari, they find the monkey, and then oh no, the chairman catches them and sends them to the Acme base. All four of them are just like, wow, fuck this, and start fighting niggas. TJ and Kate go off to go save DJ's spy dad, and the tunes go off and do tune shit in space to turn off the monkey ray. Also, my nigga Marvin the Martian's there. I like Marvin. So yeah, They go do that, they turn off the ray, they save DJ's dad, and then bing bang boom, the day is saved. And that's Looney Tunes back in action. And yeah, I like it. It's a pretty simple movie with not a lot to it, but hey, I think the simplicity works for the movie being fun. I think there's a lot of funny moments, and literally any part with the Looney Tunes in it, I think is really good. And like, even though the live action stuff can feel like less important, it can still be interesting and have its own funny moments. And again, like I said earlier, it's unfortunate that it didn't do so hot when it first came out, cause I'm seeing some people actually bring up how cool this movie actually is. And hell, with Space Jam 2 making a shit ton of money, there's already talks about making a sequel to it. It's probably gonna blow dig, but hey, I can hope that some nigga at Warner Brothers remembers this movie exists and kinda makes Space Jam 3 like this one. I super doubt that's gonna happen, but hey, you could say that's some loony thinking. Oh my god, seriously, who writes this? This has been Tahj Talks, and hey, that's all, niggas.
Go home, folks.
Give us some love.